What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm bringing you guys a little bit of a different video. I have been really busy lately and I haven't been able to read a lot. So I cannot bring you guys my top 5 books of the weeks because I am not caught up. But I don't want to leave you guys without a video. So I thought, what better way to just go over my small collection of signed books. And I feel like it's a pretty cool video to bring you guys so that you guys can see what I have in my collection so far and what I've gotten signed, and talked a little bit about the story behind the book. All right, and before we get started, I want to say I have about 10 books here in my collection that are signed. They are all kept in comic capsules, and I really didn't feel like I should have taken them out of here. I want to preserve these books as much as I can. So there might be a little bit of glare, but do not worry. If I see that the glare is a little bit too much, I'll just put a picture up so that you guys can see the book that I'll be showcasing at that point. The first 2 books that I'm going to talk about, you guys have probably already seen them in the channel because they are from the first ever video that I ever posted here on YouTube, and it's from the time I met Stephanie Phillips. And if you already know, then you know that I'm talking about my Daredevil collection, starting us off right here. This one is very special because she made it out to me. This is the #1 cover A, and that video was just very fun to record over at Blackbird Comics. I had a great time with the homies out there. Shout out to my girlfriend for helping me out with the recording of that video. And shout out to Stephanie Phillips for being so cool. And thank you for the signature like this one right here that was made out to me. And then from the blind bag that I was able to purchase at Blackbird, we pulled the Rose Besh variant right here. This was cover B, I believe, and she signed that off right there. So those are pretty cool. Those are the ones that have already been in the channel, so I'm not gonna spend too much time in just talking about those. If you guys want to see the full video of the store and the experience meeting Stephanie Phillips, go check out that first video. I'll leave it linked down below, or I'll put it at the end of the video so you guys can check it out. All right, so we have our second set of books right here. These are actually coming in from the same series, and it's the same issue, just different covers, but it is from one of my favorite ongoings right now. So yeah, coming in right here is Dork #1, signed by Brett Bean right there, the writer and artist of the book. This book specifically was a gift for me because I passed on picking it up when I had the chance, and then it sold out everywhere and I was beating myself over it. Ended up going to Tampa to visit my uncle, and we went to a shop. The owner of the shop had one, and my uncle picked it up for me as a gift. So shout out to my uncle, thank you so much. And yeah, this is one of my favorite books that I have in my signed collection, just because of that sentimental value, because it was a gift from my uncle, and then I got to meet Brett Bean at Orlando, or MegaCon Orlando, and got a sign from him. So that was pretty awesome. This cover is super dope. I love how gruesome it looks and just how gory it is. But from the same series, I also have this homage cover from Dork, and it is the homage cover from Amazing Spider-Man 300, the Todd McFarlane cover. But they made it right here into a Dork, and it's signed right there from Brett Bean as well. This book I actually picked up on a Whatnot stream where he was there signing and remarking books, and I was very lucky to get this one. It is a pretty awesome book. I wasn't expecting it to win, but the fact that I did, and for the price that I won the auction at, I would not complain about it. If I'm not mistaken, this was probably my first signature book that I picked up. This was the first book that I picked up signed by an artist. And shortly after that is when MegaCon happened here in Orlando, and I was able to get some of the rest, or some of the books that I had in my collection that I really wanted to get signed by artists that were there that weekend. And I'm not gonna lie, it was a very long weekend and very exhausting, but I'm so glad that I was able to meet all the amazing artists such as Brett Bean. Like, I actually took a picture with him holding this book that I won at the auction, and then the other book once I got it signed from him. And Brett Bean is such an awesome guy. We actually got to talk a little bit, and yeah, super awesome guy. So I was very happy to catch him there. So yeah, got this one, and I got the Jorge Corona one. Like I said, I wish I had the cover A signed, but I picked that one on late. I picked that one on later after MegaCon. So hopefully, next convention that I go and he's there, I can get that one signed. All right, and moving right along, we have two books here coming from the same artist. Now, this guy is a beast. This guy is one of the machines over at DC, but he doesn't only just publish for DC, he also publishes for Image Comics and other, usually it's just Image and DC, but this guy is just a beast. He can put out 14 covers in 1 month and two books where he does the interiors fully. And it's just incredible to see this guy at work and to see, the amount of content that he produces and just the quality never drops. It's just insane. I watched him talking in a panel over at MegaCon about how he works for like 8 hours a day with no distractions. All he does is just draw, 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 draw. And it makes sense. That's how he puts out so much work. And I'm talking about one of the GOATs, Dan Mora, right here. I have this cover from Absolute Power. This is book number 3, and it's an homage to the Hulk and Wolverine cover. I'll put up a picture so you guys can see the similarities. But yeah, this book this series is a series that I really enjoyed, and he did the insides and the covers, and this cover was one of my favorites from that series. So it was kind of no brainer for me to get this one signed, and he hit it with that nice purple in there so that it kind of matches the vibe of the book. So yeah, it was very cool experience to talk to Dan Mora for a little bit. We talked for about a minute, and he was very, very chill, very humble, and he's such a talented person. So yeah, it was very cool to meet him. So yeah, I got this one signed, and then I got another book that I really enjoyed from last year. It was Night Fight right here. I have it on the yellow backing because it kind of matches. But yeah, this capsule was the one that the Dork homage cover came in, but I ended up switching it just because I feel like it matched so much better with this. And then I bought a 10 pack of the black ones. So yeah, comic capsules. If you're seeing this, shout out to you guys. This is definitely not sponsored, but if you guys want to sponsor me, I will definitely take it. Love this product. It just keeps everything so nice and secure. But yeah, I got this cover right here. Dan Mora signed it. And this is another story that I really enjoyed. It was part of the DCKO series. And yeah, Batman being a badass. This series was awesome. But yeah, this is issue 1. And I just felt like, being that it was one of my favorite miniseries from last year, I definitely had to get this. Was this last year? No, this might have come this year. I can't remember. But yeah. Anyways, we got number 1 signed. So yeah, Dan Mora, super awesome person, and yeah, shout out to him. All right, and we got 4 more books to show you, and one of them is from Image Comics. The rest are gonna be from the same series. So let's just get that going now, right? So right here, this is a book that I feel like, I don't know, every time I talk to my friends about it or the people in the community that I hang out with and stuff, not a lot of people like talk about this book. And it's actually one of my favorite books that every time it comes out, I'm very excited to read. I understand why people might not be super into it, but to me, it's just very cool. It's very intriguing, and it just every time I finish reading, the the issue. I just want to learn more about the world. So it was very cool. And I'm talking, of course, of Image Comics Wise Guys. And I actually got this sign, obviously at MegaCon again, by the artist that does the interiors and the covers, JP Mavigna. And he was kind enough to do a remark on it as well. Got to talk to him about the book a little bit, and yeah, his art on the interiors is so cool. Sometimes the story is just driven by his art. There's barely any dialogue that happens in between panels, and his art just carries the story along. And I think that's such a cool concept. For those of you guys that don't know, White Sky is think about The Walking Dead meets The Last of Us, but instead of zombies, is ghosts. So yeah, we follow Violet and her dad as they're making it across a state, which I can't remember what state, California, and yeah, they get separated because looters came out and tried to raid them too, and I keep forgetting the dad's name, but yeah, he ends up getting taken, and then Violet kind of hides to make sure that she can like stay safe, and now she's on a journey to find her dad, but along the way she met a guy, let's just call him that, a guy that has a connection with the ghosts and is very interested. Every time, like I said, every time I read it, I just want to keep learning more about this world, and it's very Harms, the writer, has been pacing it very slowly, but to me that's just kind of interesting. So I'm very excited to keep learning about this world. And yeah, like I said, we got the remark of the ghost right there, signed by the artist, and this is a book that I really enjoy, so I was very happy to get this one signed. All right, and with that, we are at the end of the collection. We have three more books, and these three books all come from the same series. And it shouldn't come to a surprise because I talk about this book a lot. It is the book that got me into comics. It's also one of my top books in my ongoing list right now, which I was actually thinking about that list. And I know I have three for sure. And two of them you'll see in this video. One is Dork. The other one is Batman by Matt Fraction and Jorge Jimenez. And this one. This series is one that I just, every time it comes out, I have to read it on that same day. It doesn't matter if I get home late, I have to read it because it's just that good. And of course, I'm talking about Absolute Batman. And I got three books signed by creators that have worked on this series, and I'm very fortunate to say that two of them are signed by Scott Snyder. So very happy about that. And the first one is this beautiful foil. This one might be a little bit hard to show, so I'm gonna have to put a picture of this one for sure. But this is a Trinity exclusive. I believe there was 900 of these made, and they all came signed by Scott Snyder from their Whatnot show. Or actually, that's a lie. They did half of their stock signed by Scott Snyder from that show, and then at MegaCon they sold the rest of the books, but they were not signed. So they had obviously Scott, or not obviously, but Scott Snyder was there, and if you got this cover, you were able to get it signed by him, although his line was super hard to get into. And yeah, but I got it signed by him straight from the show, so I was able to like, knock that signature out. And then this, or not the designer, but the artist of this cover itself was also at the Trinity book. Trinity booth. So I was able to get the double signature on this book. So very happy about that. This was a very cool cover. A little hard to see because it's the foil, but I'll definitely put up a picture of that. Second book from this series that I have is actually a gift. It was actually a gift from one of the homies. Danny, shout out to you. And yeah, this was very special. So Danny knows Clayman, and he has done a few covers for this book, but he did this one right here that was a racial cover, and I actually have this in my collection, but he was able to grab one from his booth, made it out to me, and got it signed and gifted it to me. So that was very special. Yeah, that was very cool. So thank you, Danny, for doing that. But yeah, this is issue 14. This was a racial cover. This is a 1 of 25. So I did actually had pre-ordered this on my FOCs from my local shop, and when it came out, I actually had bought it. So I have two copies. So I have the unsigned one and clearly this one right here. And this one, it's just a very cool gift, and something that I was very surprised. So yeah, Clayman, the Man Boys, to Kevin. Thank you very much, Danny, for this. This was very cool. And lastly, like I said, the book that got it all started, Absolute Batman, #1. I was lucky enough to find this copy of this book before the big boom, so I didn't pay much for it. I did pay a little bit for it. It wasn't super expensive at the time, but it was very cool to have my first printing cover A by Nick Dragotta signed by Scott Snyder. This was such a cool experience. When I got into reading comics, this book was the one that started it all for me. And the love that my brother and I have for Batman is something that we always connect on. So when I was given the opportunity to buy a first printing cover or cover A, the first one that I bought, I actually gifted it to my brother. And the second opportunity that I had to buy another one obviously came to my collection. And on that weekend of MegaCon, this was one of my highest priorities, was to meet Snyder and get it signed by him. And when I finally was able to get into the line and met him and told him that his writing was the reason why I am into comics, it was just such a cool experience. I have a video of him telling me that that's one of the best compliments that you can get as a writer. And honestly, it's just he when it comes to writing Batman, he's just one of the goats, right? So like it was very cool and very special to have that moment where I finally got to meet him and just have my #1 signed by him. And yeah, it was definitely one of the highlights of the show, and the fact that my brother was there with me and we were able to like both have a moment with him, and yeah, and just like talk about the book and why we like it and why we like his writing in this specific book was just very special. So shout out to Scott Snyder, shout out to my brother, and yeah, shout out to Batman, because Batman is just the best. But yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite books in my collection, just because of all of the story that it brings behind it, right? Like it was my introduction to my introduction to collecting comics, the first book that I really fell in love with. And yeah, it's a cool, I have very cool memories with it, even though it's not that uh, old, right? It's now going into year 2. And I just got into comics last year. So yeah, it's just a very special book to me. Uh, but that's my whole collection of signed books. I definitely would love to meet more artists, meet more writers, get some more signatures, and just have those moments of with the creators. Just thanking them for making this hobby grow and for putting their beautiful work out there, right? So yeah, I'm just very thankful that my collection over the year has grown to what it is now, and I'm very thankful that I'm able to have these in my collection. And some of them are very, very special to me. And even if I stop collecting or stop or get rid of my whole collection, there's some books that I would hold on just for its sentimental value. And yeah, there's a few in here, so I'm very thankful for that. But yeah, I would definitely love to go to another convention, meet more artists, meet more writers, and just get more books signed. One of the people that I have, or actually I have two that I have to meet someday, and they're at the top of my list, and that is obviously my goat, Jorge Jimenez. When it comes to art and Batman art, it's just he's my goat. I love everything that Jorge Jimenez has put out, and I actually have an oversized Batman #1 that I would love to get signed by him and Matt Fraction so that I can put it up in a nice frame and put it up in the wall. So yeah, can't wait for that day. And another person that I really, really want to meet, and it's a person that I discovered not too long ago. I discovered them when I first started doing, when I first started getting into comics. It was Daniel Warren Johnson, and I discovered him because he did the annual for Absolute Batman, and his art and his writing were just mind blowing. I loved it from the very moment I picked it up, and then I kind of started looking into his work, trying to find more work that he had done, and found a video on YouTube of the Speed Sultan. Shout out to him, one of my favorite comic YouTubers, talking about his love for Daniel Warren Johnson, and I was like, oh my god, like he is he's this is exactly what I was looking for. So he went over all of his work and talked about a little bit about what he liked from every single piece of writing that he has put out, and that was my gateway into discovering all of his work, his writing work. And yeah, very excited. I'm pretty sure I have collected about everything that he has written. I have most of it in trades because finding his singles in my area is just super difficult. But yeah, I'm very happy just to have his writing in my collection because his writing is just amazing. So yeah, and then I just recently got his Ashcan that he put out on San Diego Comic Con out. So yeah, I'm very excited to dig into that. I actually got it today, the day that I'm recording this. I got it. So once I finish recording this video, I will definitely read that and get very excited for October or November whenever he is going to be publishing that out. But yeah, those are the artists that I really want to meet next and that I really want to get stuff signed by. But yeah, these are my 10 books that I have signed right now in my collection. I'm very happy about that. And I'm very proud about my small signed collection. But with that, I'm going to leave you guys to it. I will finish the video here. Thank you so much for watching. I've been very busy, so like haven't been able to put out a top 5 or top books of the week just because I'm very behind in my reading and I just been super busy with life and things outside of the hobby. So yeah, but I didn't want to leave you guys without a video this week because yeah, I'm trying to stay as consistent as I can. I know it is kind of hard, but I got to do it. And I really, really appreciate every single one of you guys that sit through my videos and watch them all the way through and just spend some time with me hanging out and, just watching and enjoying the passion that I have for this hobby. So thank you so much. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna leave you guys there. If you guys like the video, drop a thumbs up, leave a comment down below. Let me know if you like any of the books that I showed today. And if you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. It's been KFC Trades, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Hey, Sider, how's it going, bro?
Good, how are you doing,
Good,
brother?
good, thank you.
We got 4 books.
All right, let's do it. Nice to see you, brother. What's going on?
Thank you. Yeah, big fan. Your book actually got me into the comics, so I appreciate
Dude, that's the best compliment you can give, so I appreciate that.
appreciate
Being
it.
someone's gateway drug is the best.
Yeah.